So in this video, we're going to go over kind of the basic navigation of using the gradebook and how to add a gradebook item. So within the gradebook, you'll see a number of columns. First, you'll see your students, and you can choose to filter for specific students. You can also choose to search by student number instead. Now in this column, you will see the course grade for each student that's made out of the accumulated total of all of your items, assuming that they have been included in course grade calculations. Now, as you can see by this icon, these course grades have not been released to students, so a student looking at the gradebook in their own view will not be able to see their course grade. So if you wanted to add a gradebook item directly within the gradebook, you can click Add Gradebook Item. You will give this a title and a point value. So let's say I want this to be out of 50 points. Now you can choose whether or not this is extra credit. So if I do that and I make this an extra credit assignment, you can see that if I enter their point value, their course grade will go up positively, but if they receive 0, there's no influence to their actual initial course grade. Now returning to this menu, you can choose to give the assignment a due date. This is not necessary. The only necessary items that you fill out are the title and the point value. And then I can choose to release this item to students and include it in the course grade calculations. So if I choose not to release the item to students, it will not be visible to them, and that will automatically remove it from the course grade calculations. If I choose to not have this item included in the course grade calculations, you can see that I can enter any point value in here and it's not going to affect the course grade here. You can actually click, hold, and drag items to reorder them. So now I can see that item 5 is moved directly beside item 4. Alternatively, you can use this drop-down menu and choose to move left or move right. So also in this drop-down menu, you can choose to edit any of the details that we set up before when we were creating the gradebook item. You can also choose to view grade statistics. So this will give me an overview of my students' scores, their mean and median scores, the lowest and highest, and the total amount of scores. In this menu, you can also choose to hide the item. Now, this does not mean that it will not be visible to students. This just means in your own view of the gradebook, you will not be able to see this item. And finally, in this menu, you can set the score for empty cells. So obviously all of my cells here are empty. I can choose to use this menu to set a score for all of my students, a specific roster, or a specific group within this course site. And let's say I want to give everybody 30 out of 50. You'll be prompted to confirm. I'll click continue. And then you can see all of these empty scores have now been set to that score that I set. This is also where you can choose to delete any items. To wrap up this video, we'll also look at the Show and Hide Items tab. So just as before, where we could hide individual items from their drop-down menu, you can use this button here to show or hide items en masse. In each individual drop-down, I can choose to show only that specific item. So if I only wanted to see item 2, for example, I can choose to only see item 2. And you can always click these arrows to expand the items that you've hidden, but this may be useful if you're grading a set of gradebook items and you want to make sure that you're only focusing on one column at a time to not get confused and accidentally enter a grade in the wrong column.